And then Pastor Magda's like, okay, tell them to get into a circle. So they all got into circles, but they got into circles according to age. But there was so many of them. And then as she sent them to heaven, I saw, but the area I saw them go, and what it was is that when they were released, you could see they were boys and girls. And that's where Pastor Jay can explain better about the, your ancestors and stuff like that, like the heart parts and things. So it was like a generational release of all these little heart parts and all these children. And what ended up happening was God took them to one area, and then the children, I'll show you the picture of it, but the children just ran off into different directions. Like I saw the Sea of Gold, and I saw amusement park, and they were just running. They just ran full force. It was like they knew where they wanted to go, and they just ran. And this was what I saw. So you can see there's a Ferris wheel. I mean, not a Ferris wheel, was it? Ferris wheel. Over here, it was all gold. And you got the City of Gold. But I can't remember exactly how the City of Gold was, but I knew it was the City of Gold there. Off to the side, and you saw the water. Some children, they ran up into the forest, into the trees to play. They were just playing on the grass. Some, they were playing together. They were just free. And it's like they knew what they wanted to do. They knew where they wanted to go. And they just ran. And when I realized about the generational, like when I was talking to Pastor Magda about it, it's because I saw boys and girls. So it wasn't just like my little heart parts. It was obviously my heart parts too, but it was just generations, because I'm first Christian in my family, my bloodline. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of little heart parts. So this is where I saw them go. And I explained to Pastor Jay, it's so hard to paint the colors. And it's so hard to paint, because as being an artist, I notice colors, I notice textures, I notice these things. But the colors keep changing. And the textures change. It's like when the Bible says it's alive, it literally is alive. Like it's like, if you've seen, the closest thing I can even explain is like you see an octopus or a chameleon, how their skin can change. The colors, the tones, the grass, it's alive. It changes in different hues of greens to blues to gold, and it shimmered, and that's what this was. It was like gold. It was like a gold shimmer. It wasn't like the grass was worn away. It was just gold shimmer. And then when the wind came, the gold would like kind of disappear, but then it was just, I can't explain how to paint it. You can't paint it. It was just, and then there was colors there. I can't even explain how to make the color. I tried to make the color. There's one painting here that I painted like 6 times. I couldn't get the color right. I just couldn't get it. And that's what my job is. I work for the movies. I go in, they show me a floor, and I have to recreate that floor so I know how to take color and match color and make color look exact. But I could not do this, and I sat there for hours today. I just realized I got paint all over myself. Hours and hours today trying to do this color. You can't recreate it. You cannot recreate it. So when I saw the children running, they were running off and everything, and then God was taking me places, and then all of a sudden I was in this boat. I can't remember exactly, because there was other things that went on, so I can't remember how it went to the boat. So I'm on this boat, but I've got this love for water. Like my family always said, you were meant to be in the water. Like I just love water. I love being on boats. It's just my favorite thing. And then all of a sudden, there I am. I'm in a boat, and I'm like looking around. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then I look down into the water, and then the boat becomes crystal. Like I can see through the boat. And I look, and there's a manatee floating around, a purplish burgundy color manatee floating around as it's shimmering, and it looks up at me like, come play. And I'm like, oh, can I go? And then God was saying to me, you can, but I want to show you something. And I was like, okay. Then the thing went, okay, see you later. And I never talked to it, but you knew what it was saying. Like it's just, you just knew. You didn't have to communicate, you just knew. So then it went away, and then so there I'm in this boat, and then God showed me this. There's this, was rock, and it was just like curved. It had these beautiful curves. Because like I said, with me being an artist, I love looking at natural rock formations. I love to see how just trees and things are made, like I can go on a long trip and I'll just stare out the window the whole time, especially going through BC with the rocks and the mountains. I just stare. People think I'm mad at them and I'm like, no, just look, it's just, I can't take my eyes off it. So this rock formation underneath, and then there is these flowers were cascading over. They were just cascading over, just an abundance, and they're just so full, and so there was no, you go to a garden sometimes, when things start to die and you get the brown and there was nothing. It was just like as if it was like a movie set. It was just so perfect, and it just kind of dipped in the water, and it was just so beautiful. And I wanted to go in there, but then God just wanted to show me something different. So God was showing me, starts to show me the wide ocean, and it was something personal for me and him and stuff. And so then after that, then I ended up, I saw this from a far distance. I saw this mountain, this huge mountain, but because I painted all different types of mediums, so it was like it was done in watercolors. So I tried to recreate, this is one I could not get the right color. I tried because sometimes it was purple, then the sky was blue, then the sky had this green hint, and then it had this crimson, and it was just like the colors were just, so I can't recreate it, but I tried. So what it was is it was like this, I saw the side of this mountain, it was huge, and then there was a waterfall in the middle of it going down. And I was looking at it, and Pastor Magda, because she could see I was like this, and she's like, what do you see? I'm like, is that a dinosaur? She's like, you see a dinosaur? I'm like, yeah, I see a dinosaur. She goes, you want to ride it? I'm like, yeah. And then I was on the dinosaur. But this is when I saw the dinosaur. You see the waterfall and the little dinosaur. This is when I was like, I literally could not get the color. But yeah, so I have to paint the dinosaur because I can remember when the dinosaur's face, like, because I saw him up close, I was like on his neck looking at him going, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'll see you later. But yeah, so when you're going through this, Pastor Jay, this deliverance and going ahead, like, I mean, it's real. I mean, normally I would never tell anybody about this. I mean, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy, right? But then it was like God wanted me to paint them, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it later, Lord, I'll do it later. But then it's like, well, when? Well, God asked you to do something. When? What are you gonna do, right? So I'm gonna continue to